The day my boss threw my proposal into the trash, the entire office laughed. "Emma," Rick said with a grin, "hard work can't fix a lack of talent." A few people looked away. Most laughed with him. I quietly picked up my papers, swallowed my pride, and walked back to my desk. No one knew that would be the last day anyone would ever make me feel small. 3 years earlier, Emma had joined one of Chicago's fastest-growing marketing agencies with nothing but determination. She wasn't the loudest person in the room. She wasn't the most connected. But she worked harder than anyone. She stayed late. She came in early. She solved problems nobody else wanted. Yet somehow every success became someone else's credit. Usually Rick's. During meetings, he'd interrupt her before she finished speaking. "Let's hear from someone who actually understands business." Everyone laughed because Rick was the boss. Emma smiled, but every word stayed with her. The breaking point came after weeks of preparing the company's biggest marketing campaign. Emma had researched everything herself, spent countless late nights perfecting every detail, and truly believed this project would finally earn her respect. Instead, Rick presented the campaign as his own. Not once did he mention Emma's name. The executives applauded him. Emma sat frozen in her chair. After the meeting, she confronted him. "That was my work." Rick didn't even look up. "Then maybe next time learn that winners don't complain." That night Emma cried all the way home. She questioned her talent. She questioned her future. She even opened a job website before closing it again. Then she looked at her laptop and whispered, "If nobody will give me a chance, I'll create one." Every morning her alarm rang at 5 a.m. Before work she studied branding. After work she built websites for tiny businesses. Weekends became work days. Some clients disappeared without paying. Others rejected her ideas. One business owner even told her, "We're looking for someone more experienced." Emma thanked him, then kept going. Months turned into years. One local bakery trusted her with a complete rebrand. Within 6 months their sales nearly doubled. Word spread. One client became 5. 5 became 20. Soon Emma had more work than she could handle. The day she resigned, Rick leaned back in his chair and laughed. "You'll be begging for your job back within 6 months." Emma simply smiled. "I guess we'll both find out." 3 years later, Emma wasn't looking for clients anymore. Clients were competing to work with her. Her company had grown into one of the most respected branding firms in the Midwest. But what made her proudest wasn't the money. It was the people. She hired talented employees who had been overlooked, underestimated, or ignored, just like she once had. On every new employee's first day, Emma told them the same thing. "No one will ever feel invisible here." Then came the biggest opportunity of her career. A national retail company invited the top agencies in the country to compete for a multi-million-dollar campaign. Emma walked into the boardroom and froze. Across the table sat Rick. His agency had made the shortlist. For a second, neither of them spoke. Then Rick forced a smile. "Emma, I didn't expect this." She nodded politely. "Neither did I." The presentations began. Rick filled the room with flashy promises. Emma filled it with real solutions. She spoke about trust, about understanding customers, about treating people with respect, because companies that value people build loyal customers. The room was silent, not because they were bored, because they were listening. 3 days later, the decision was announced. Emma's company had won. The contract was worth millions. Industry magazines called it one of the biggest surprises of the year. A week later, Rick asked if they could meet. He looked nothing like the confident man she remembered. His shoulders were slumped. His voice was quiet. "I was wrong about you." Emma didn't answer. "I should have treated you better." Still she stayed silent. Finally he asked, "I heard you're hiring." Emma looked at him for a long moment. Then she smiled. "We are." Hope returned to his face. "But I only hire people who make others feel stronger, not smaller." The hope disappeared. Rick slowly nodded. "I understand." As he stood to leave, Emma stopped him. "For years I dreamed about proving you wrong." He turned back. "But somewhere along the way, I realized the best revenge wasn't watching you fail. It was building a life where your opinion no longer mattered." Rick lowered his eyes and quietly walked away. Emma watched the door close behind him. She didn't feel anger. She didn't feel satisfaction. She felt something far more valuable. Peace. Because success isn't about making your enemies regret losing you. It's about becoming so confident that their judgment can never hurt you again.